This is my sketchbook journal that I started in 2023. The whole idea behind this, one of my New Year's resolutions for that year was I really want to get back into being creative with just being a freely creative person. No pressure, no expectations, not for a client, not for social media, no pressure on, oh, I need to share this and how many likes is it going to get or views. None of that. So this was just purely my own creative outlet. And I think it was really good for me because it helped me combat my overthinking and perfectionism and just have a safe space for myself to just create. And even though the intention wasn't to share it anywhere, I am now, but that wasn't the original intention behind it, the whole point of it. And my nephew helped decorate the cover. That wasn't really planned, but it just kind of happened. So let's flip through it. I got a new box of crayons and I was just journaling a little bit about my thoughts about a new box of crayons, and I was testing each color. Just wanted to make a little pattern. Then these are all the colors that are kind of maybe overlooked. When you get a new box of crayons, you have all these pretty colors. These are the ones you use. But then there's other ones. So I wrote left behind but not forgotten. And then this is Epiphany. This was in January. I remember it was like the Feast of the Epiphany. And I went to this event and we were going around the room. There was a priest there saying, what was a time in your life where you had an epiphany in your faith or just in life? So I was thinking epiphany, that is just a meaningful word. So I made a little illustration on that. And then pencils, pens, just experimenting with different patterns. And then my niece later did this. And I was listening to a podcast, and this is a quote that just stuck out to me. Is life flying by us, or are we flying by life? So I drew little birds flying by. And I was looking at a tree, thinking about nature, how irregularities are part of nature. Just some thoughts. I like to just go outside and be present and draw something I see and maybe something I'm thinking about. And this, I don't know, just random watercolor patterns. Another quote, this was Bob Goff, I remember. I saw him speak live and I was reading, or maybe I was listening to reading a book. I just remember hearing him say this: we are rivers, not reservoirs. And that really stuck out to me, what he was talking about. So I just wanted to draw this little water. And then ink drawings, various plants. I was sitting outside my local Publix one day, and this is another day, just sitting outside, drawing a tree. Random niece or nephew helped me do this. Oh, I remember this. Okay, so I was just creatively stuck at this time. I don't know why I stopped using my sketchbook for a while. So I handed it to my family members. I was like, hey, can you guys just fill these pages? Because I don't know why I need to just fill these pages with something just to get the juices flowing again. So my sister Hillary did this, and then my other sister Millicent did this, and it's so cute. I think that's me promoting the creative process wherever she goes. Yep, that's my mission in life. And then just random pen marker drawings, I think. And then I was thinking about, why am I creatively blocked right now? Why am I so afraid of these blank pages? Why am I not creating? The whole purpose of the sketchbook was to just get out of my head, stop overthinking. So I was just kind of journaling about some of those thoughts and just filling the pages again. And something that really stuck out to me, I was listening to James Victory in a podcast, and he was like, why do people fear the blank page? And something he says is, maybe you just need some more paper, you know? We don't have to be so fearful of how we're filling these pages. Like, there's unlimited pages, just fill them how you want and don't be afraid. So that helped me. And then this was a pattern that I did, but then later my nephew went in and added some more to it. It's okay. And this, I was testing out these midliner markers. Hold on. So I got these because I think someone recommended they're really good for Bible journaling. So I was like, okay, let me test them out. So I tested out the colors on that page. And this was a random watercolor I was working on. And then my brother Mikey, who works at Publix, middle of summer, really hot in Florida. And he said, that looks like an art depiction of when I was outside getting carts. Fiery death. So that's summer in Florida. And then here I was listening to a video on YouTube from Mac Miller, and it really stuck out to me. I need to actually rewatch this because I remember him saying it like really unlocked something within me that maybe being a great artist isn't about being the best at our craft, but maybe it's about finding the best way to express what is deep within us. And he was talking about authenticity, and he's like, I'm not the best singer, but sometimes singing is the best way in that moment to get across my message, get this song out of me and into the world, or something like that. And that just really stuck to me. Why do we wear these masks and cover up what's deep within? Maybe we need to just find that creative outlet, even if we're not, the best at it, but to just get it out, the best way to get that out of us. And then this was Felix when he was 1.5 years old. Just here, Felix, fill up this page however you want. Give him some crayons. And I just love that. I think we have so much to learn from children of being creative and just getting things out and not overthinking and worrying. It's so inspiring to just watch a child with pens and markers and just freely create. And we kind of sadly lose that as we get older. And then I was thinking about these white pens and white crayons, how when you're drawing on white paper, they're not seen, but maybe it's not the problem. Like, oh, what's the point of having white pens and white crayons? You feel like you need to change to fit into your environment, but maybe you're not the problem, it's the environment you're in that you're not being seen. Whereas, oh look, when you have a black background, then you can be seen. Nothing's wrong with you, it was just you were not in the right environment. Just some random designs, crayons. Again, just my niece and nephew having free reign. Flowers that I just drew randomly, patterns, crayons, markers. I was reading this book, How Creativity Rules the World. She was talking about this importance of the notebooks, how Leonardo da Vinci had a notebook at all times, Pablo Picasso, how important it is to an artist to have this sketchbook or these notebooks, and how all of our creative work sometimes is born from these sketches, and then you go and create a masterpiece. So this whole sketchbook, the point in this isn't to create masterpieces, it's to just jot down, your experiences, your inspirations, anything like that to bring into your creative work later, or to just for the sake of the joy of creating itself. And I have these gold markers. I wanted to do these flowers, watercolors, a tree, a poem that I read that just really I was thinking about and wanted to illustrate it with watercolor and ink. And this day I was at my sister's office when she worked at the church, and they had boxes and boxes of all these cool stamps. And so I was like, what if I use these stamps and then started filling in and drawing the rest? So this wasn't my own original drawings, this was a stamp, and then I just kind of was experimenting with that. And this was a random quote that I heard somewhere, I don't remember where, but I just really loved it. No agenda other than to love. I feel like everyone in life has these agendas. Oh, you're trying to make money, you're trying to do this, you're trying to do that. But what if the agenda in our lives is just to love? I think it's a beautiful thing. And little hands, I think that's Felix. More little toddler drawings. This was affirmations I think I wanted to write that I liked, that I could just remember. And hands, I think that's my hand, and then Felix. More days with the toddlers. Oh, I remember this day. I was sitting in the garage with my sister, and I was just drawing my dad's car, the blue, I don't know, just watercolor. I just wanted to draw what I saw in that moment. And she was on the phone with my cousin, and they're having a really good conversation. And of course I'm being nosy sitting there overhearing because it was on speakerphone. And I thought it was just such a beautiful spiritual conversation they were having. And I remember just in that moment listening to that conversation and drawing this. So I love art because you can put yourself in a moment, and then when you look at it later, you're brought right back to that moment. You remember how you felt, what you were listening to, just being present. This is just a cityscape. talking about my thoughts, how I love rainy, cloudy days. A lot of people are like, oh, the weather's so crappy today. To me, that's actually ideal weather. A nice, cool, cloudy day is actually a really nice day to me, where other people love the sun beating down on you. I'm like, I don't like that weather. I'd rather have it be cloudy. That's just me. So there's beauty in all circumstances. It just depends on your perspective. So who's to say it's a crappy, not beautiful day when it's rainy and cloudy, because to some people that is a beautiful day. And then this was Felix. I was so impressed. I let him experiment with watercolors and he was doing such a good job with it. So just wanted to remember that. Another quote, I did little watercolors, and to love legibly, I remember hearing that in a poem. There's this poet I follow on Instagram and she does these spoken word, and she said that, and that really struck me. Just random patterns and markings. I got these new ink acrylic paint markers, and I loved the effect of this, like the boldness of colors. This is all Felix again. Felix, he asked me, we were just scribbling and doodling. He said, draw a train. So I just quickly drew a train on a train track. It's just so cute. And colors, more collaborations with Felix. I drew this whole cityscape and then he drew over it, but it's okay. It's all about, you know, adding to the beauty and the evolution of this sketchbook. Just add markings however you choose. This page was more, I got these pens, these acrylic marker brushes. I just love the quality, the ink, how it looks on the page. And then I started learning calligraphy and I was practicing the alphabet, and then, I don't remember, just more random markings. And that is the end. So yeah, highly recommend. You don't have to be an artist. You don't have to worry about, oh, I'm not a good artist, I don't know how to draw. It's so therapeutic to just get out some blank paper and get out of your head and into your body and just use your hands and create something. It doesn't have to be this perfect drawing. It's just for the joy of creating and being present in these moments. So yeah, I wasn't going to share that, but hopefully it inspires someone to start being more creative in your everyday life.